A girl DM'd me saying, I need you to block my boyfriend. He was my cousin, but she still thought I was a homewrecker. I wrote back, you don't have to worry, that's my cousin. We're family. She responded in seconds, I don't care. Block him. I blocked her instead. She came back on 5 different accounts in under 2 minutes. You think blocking me is gonna help? I blocked every single one. A few days later, a text popped up on iMessage from a number I didn't have saved. So you're just gonna ignore me? I didn't respond, and she started calling from different numbers back to back. One voicemail was just her screaming, pick up the phone. I know where you go to school. I walked out of class and she was standing right next to my car in the parking lot. She walked straight up and got in my face. Stay away from him. I'm not asking again. She tried to grab my phone out of my hand and I pulled back. She screamed, homewrecker, and people in the parking lot stared at me like I was the problem. I got in my car with my hands shaking and called my cousin. You need to handle your girlfriend before I handle her myself. He went quiet. What girlfriend? I'm single. I told him everything and he started laughing. Bro, I turned her down weeks ago. She asked me to send her pictures of my feet. I unblocked her and texted, if you want me to block him, meet me at Panera. We can talk. She agreed in seconds. She walked in smiling and sat down across from me. I knew you'd come around. My cousin stepped out from the booth behind me. Her face dropped. She jumped up and started yelling, you're cheating on me with your own cousin? That's disgusting. Every table turned around. She dropped her voice soft. It's okay, baby. I forgive you. We can work through this. My cousin held up his phone. We were never together. He started reading every text where he rejected her out loud and got to the one where she begged him for pictures of his feet. The whole place started laughing. He looked her dead in the eyes. Leave me and my family alone. I'm not gonna ask again. We both filed for restraining orders the next day.
So today, I was like good the whole entire day, but I got this call from, I got this call, and it really started like shaking. I can't, girl. Guess someone was trying to end their life. Guess someone was trying to killing themselves. It wasn't Hunter. It wasn't Hunter. Travis tried so hard to end his life that he stopped breathing for a couple, like his brain shut off, like he went into like a coma, and he's in the hospital.
Wait, Travis is in the hospital. Girl, Travis did that to himself? Why? Why would he do that to himself?
Tell me and I'll tell you why. Tell me and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Why did he do that? He did it because. Alright, so first, Hunter called me. Hunter said, hey, I know I'm not supposed to be leaving you alone. I know we're not supposed to talk, cause Hanaya told me and you are not supposed to talk. And you and Peyton told me to leave you all alone and stuff. I was like, yeah, that's right. That's what we told you. And he was like, but I just want to tell you something. I think this is right for me to tell you. I don't know if it's gonna break your heart. I don't know how you're gonna take it. But he was like, I dared Travis to hurt himself. I was like, you did what? He was like, yeah, I dared Travis to hurt himself. I don't know. He was like, so yeah, I dared Travis to hurt himself. We were like, let's see who can hurt themselves bad. And then I covered Travis's nose because we were like trying to pretend to hug each other too with a pillow. And then when I realized his eyes were closed, his heart wasn't like beating, and then I rushed him to the hospital, and he said that the doctors told him that Travis was in a coma. A pillow, according to Hunter. According to Hunter. Yes. What? I don't know. But yeah, so a hunter told me that Travis is in like a coma, but I know this comes from Hunter. No, he actually was in the hospital because like you can hear like the beep from the machine to the nurses like saying, "Oh, he opened his eyes." Yes, yes, he did. But he doesn't want anybody else to know. He only wanted me to know and you. He said you could tell Peyton, but nobody tell Michaela. Yeah, because he said that he was taunting Travis with saying that Michaela was gonna go and kill him. So that's why he doesn't want anybody to tell Michaela. And he doesn't want anybody to tell Ari or tell Sarah or tell the new girl. I know. Neither does Sarah. Yeah. That damn Ari spell. So then I literally saw Travis and I started crying. I I know. I started crying. My hands started like shaky. I no, no. Cause supposedly Travis has, cause what according to Hunter, Travis has seizures. Yeah, but Travis doesn't believe. But Travis, yeah. Mhm. Cause Hunter was flashing lights. And then he was turning off and on the switch because his friend was telling Hunter to do it to Travis to turn off and light switch, to turn off and on the light, like flicker the lights and then put flashing lights on because he said, "Oh, Travis doesn't have seizures. He's just faking it. That's just fake. He don't need to be. He's just pretending that he has seizures." And he listened to his friend. I know I would have been after them. Yeah, I would have been after them. But since oh, good for you. Mm-hmm. Good for you. I I want a boyfriend. No. He told me that he doesn't like girls. He said, sorry. I know we have been texting for like about a long for a long time since you weren't since your first day of high school. And I know you're going into 10th grade, but I just wanted to tell you, I don't like girls. I like boys. I don't know what to do. I guess my whole life is to be single. When? Never. I I can never find a boyfriend. Cause first of all, the first boyfriend that I had, he used to beat me up. Yeah. Then remember when me and Travis started dating? Oh, it looked so no, it looked first of all, you wanna know how he started making me fall in love with them? First, I remember one day he was like, "Oh, you wanna get back at your ex?" And I was like, "Okay, yeah." And he was like, "Okay, we're gonna pretend like we're dating." This is okay. This was just like for that to get back at him. So I grabbed his like arm. He was like, grab my. I mean, Travis was like, grab my arm, and I was like, okay. And then he was like, to make it believable, and I was like, oh, okay. And then he decides to, and then he was like, oh, he left, so now we can just go back to being friends. And then he started flirting on Mary, and he was like, Mary, oh, Mary, you look so pretty, you look so cute, you look so pretty, Mary. And then when Mary hooked up with Nash to be boyfriend and girlfriend, okay, and this is getting better. He was like, man, he moved and then he started flirting with me. I remember, what was it? One day at the cafeteria, he sat next to me, and he went up to a girl. Hanaya, you and Hanaya were still in school when this happened, okay? But you didn't see it. Hanaya did. So me and Hanaya were talking about something, and then, he, Cameron, Hunter, and Travis were talking about two girls. Well, three girls. And Cameron said, "Oh, I know that girl." And then Hunter said, "That girl cute. I'm gonna go tell something to that girl." And I wasn't paying attention. But then when I heard Travis say, "Oh damn, that girl hot. I'm gonna go talk to that girl." And I was like, "Girl, get mad, cause he has a girlfriend. You need to make him be still and keep his mind that he has a girlfriend and his girlfriend is Michaela." And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get mad. So I got mad at him and I was like, you got a girlfriend, you got a whole ass girlfriend, and you're going to call a girl cute. He was like, what? You mad? He was like, oh, you mad because I called another girl cute? You like me or something? I was like, no, I only see you as a friend. I can't. I don't see you as anything else. So then one day, remember when we had that when it was like the cultural fest thing, right? So we go, so I sit in the bottom because Hanaya was sitting next to me, and uh, and then he sat next to Anthony, and you know who Anthony is, right? The the student helper. Yeah, yeah. Everybody, yeah. Okay, so he sat next to Anthony and Hunter. So Travis and Anthony both sat together in one area of the bleachers, and Hanaya was looking at Travis, and she was like, "Girl, look, Travis is looking at those girls," and I was like, he ain't my boyfriend. She was like, but you better get mad because he's gonna cheat on Michaela. And so I was like, okay, yeah, I better protect Michaela's feelings because even though me and Michaela are not good, even though me and Michaela don't talk a lot, but I still gotta protect her feelings. So I got mad at him, and then he was like, then he goes, when he sees me cross my arms and get mad, Hanaya goes like, "Come on, girl, don't talk to him." And I was like, "Yeah." And then, so then when he sees that Hanaya pulls me and Hanaya says, "Don't talk to him, girl." Then, and when he sees me cross my arms too, he's like, I hear him say to Hunter, "Damn, she mad. Damn, she mad, man." So then he goes running to me because Hanaya said, "Grab onto my wheelchair, cause I'm gonna make you run, girl." And I grabbed onto Hanaya's wheelchair. Hanaya said, "Grab on as tight as you can." And Hanaya put that thing on full speed that we were literally hitting everything. And Travis was trying to catch up to us. And when he got to us, he was like, he was like, he was like, "Babe, why you mad at me?" Yes, yep. He was like, "Babe, why you mad at me?" I was like, "I'm not." I said, "First of all, we're not anything. We're not boyfriend or girlfriend." Oh, and then I remember that I was in the classroom and I put my head down because I was mad at him, and I'm not to pretend like get mad at him just to see if he would cheat on Michaela. And I was like, "Okay, girl, I will do it just to see if he would cheat on Michaela." And then he was like, "What's wrong with my babe?" And then Hunter started messing with me, and he was like, "Leave my girlfriend alone, or I'm gonna beat your head up because you are the fuckingest, annoyingest brother I've ever known." And I was like, "Wait, he's calling me babe?" And I was like, Mary was like, "Girl, he just called you babe." I was like, I heard that. Mary was like, "Oh gosh, what is this gonna go through? What is this gonna go to?" And then Nash was like, "Did I hear that right? Did I hear that right?" Oh, so then, so then the next day, he's like, "You want to be my girlfriend?" And I was like, and I didn't know what to say. At that moment, I was shocked, and Sarah grabbed my hand because I was frozen, and Sarah moved my hand and responded for me, yes. So then Hanaya said, "This is the perfect plan, because if uh you told him yes to be his girlfriend, well, I mean, if Sarah answered for you and told him yes to be, you wanted to be his girlfriend, we can see how far he would take this before Michaela comes." So then Hanaya and I made that plan, and we were like making plans up to see how far this could go. And then one day he was like, me, Hanaya were talking about something, and he goes up to me and like kisses my head, kisses my forehead, and then he goes like, "I love you, babe." And then he goes and sits next to Darnell. First of all, he goes and sits next to Darnell, and then I think he had Darnell lie about something because we caught him. So Hanaya said, "I just heard him say to Darnell that he was gonna hook up with that he was gonna go see a girl." And I was like, "What? What do you hear?" Hanaya told me that she heard Travis tell Darnell that. So I was like, "Okay, let's see what he does if I get mad and I tell him I want to break up with him and I don't love him anymore." And I was like, "Yeah, let's see." So then he goes and has Darnell lie to our fucking face, to mine and Hanaya's fucking face, because I was like, "All right, Travis. I heard you tell Darnell that you were gonna go see another girl." He was like, "No, no, 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 no." And I said, "All right, Travis, we're breaking up. I don't like you anymore. So get away from me." So then he goes and gets Darnell, and Darnell, he's not a really good liar. You could tell Darnell was lying because you could tell in his voice. So then Darnell was like, wait, bro, what did you tell me to say?" Like, that's not good lying. And then Travis was like, did I talk about her all the time and that I love her?" So me and Hannah heard what they were talking about. so then, so then Darnell was like, he talks about you all the time and he loves you. And we were like, "Okay, me and Hanaya know how to put two and two together, that we could hear y'all's conversation." And then, so then when we get to the classroom, Travis is like, "Babe, that's not what you heard. I love you. Like, I wouldn't cheat on you and stuff." Oh, and then I remember one day, um, we were doing science. I mean, no, we were doing English, and Hanaya was in our English class because she had missed her freshman year of English class. So she had to do English class to be able to graduate. I remember. And Hanaya turned on her wheelchair because she was in Miss K's table, but Hanaya, because Mary wasn't there that day, so Hanaya asked Miss K if she could sit where I would, and Mary's like spot, like they could take her out of her wheelchair and put her in the chair. And Miss K said, "Yeah, sure. Where do you want to sit?" He was like, "I want to sit in Mary's spot." And Miss K was like, "What you gonna do, Hanaya? Hanaya, you ain't gonna mess with these two, right?" Miss K was like, "You ain't gonna mess with these two couples, right?" And she was like, "Oh." So like Miss K knew that Miss K like knew it, but we don't know. Okay, so this is where it's getting good. And then Hanaya says, "All right, look at me, Mr. Travis." Oh, Hanaya brought out her little bit of English. Oh, you should have seen Hanaya that time. Because Hanaya brought out her little bit of English. Hanaya was like, "Look, you better break up with Michaela, or I'm gonna break your dick if you don't break up with Michaela." And he was like, "Oh no 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 no! I want to keep my dick, so I'm gonna break up with Michaela." And then, okay, yeah, that's a little too far. Hanaya was like, "Oh, so then I remember he grabs. That's when we could still have boyfriend and girlfriend in school. So, so then So then he like grabs my hand, like starts like and like starts hugging me. Oh, we were pretty. So Miss Liebergard had said, "Y'all could put up your binders because we're done with English class and line up for gym." So I went to go put up my binder up where it's supposed to go, and then Travis like grabs my hand and says, "Give me a hug," and I was like, "No," and he was like, "Give me a hug," and so I gave him, and so Hanaya literally grabbed me, grabbed my hand, wrapped him around Travis, and then grabbed Travis's hands, wrapped them around me, and said, "There, you two are giving each other a hug. No more arguing about giving each other a hug, because I made you give you a hug." So I was like, Hanaya. Oh, and then I was like, oh, I remember one time. Oh, one day, we were in transition to adulthood and Miss Lippercott's class, and we were literally doing cursive, and because he was sitting where Mary sits, where Mary was sitting that day, and Mary sat where Travis was wanted to sit, so he grabbed the hand that I don't write with, and Miss K was like, "Travis, do your work. Stop holding her hand. There's time. Whenever y'all get free time, y'all can hold each other's hands. But right now, this is making me want to puke." So I was like, "Yeah, Travis." Oh, and then one day, when Miss Ellis was still there, one day Miss Lieberman knocks on Miss Ellis's door, and Miss Brenda opens the door, and she says, "Y'all two are getting moved," and we were like, "Wait, what?" And Miss Lieberman was like, "Yeah, you two are getting moved," and I was like, "Why?" She was like, "Cause we can't have you two sitting together at the same table." She was like, "Cause we can't have boyfriend and girlfriend sitting at the same table." We were like, "Whoa, we ain't dating." So then so then, and so then she was like, Miss McCall was like, "You get to sit with Miss K." I was like, "Oh yay, sitting with Miss KK, yay, Miss KK." I was Yeah, I was happy because I was sitting with Miss K. So then one day Miss Lieberman doesn't show up, so we have Miss Olivia and Miss KK because we didn't have Miss V, we didn't have Miss Johnson, we didn't have both in there that day. I remember. So Miss K said, "Y'all can sit wherever y'all want. I don't really care. Y'all can say whatever y'all want as long as y'all get your work done. As long as y'all get to doing what y'all need to do, y'all can say wherever you want." But she was like, "Don't tell the juniors or the seniors that y'all need to get to sit in y'all didn't have to sit in y'all assigned seats, okay? Because then the juniors are gonna want me to do the same thing with them. But they need a little bit of more structure because they're going into adulthood almost, and they need a little bit of more structure. But y'all are freshmen coming in from middle school, so y'all still need a little bit of structure. Y'all still don't need hard structure. Y'all need structure, but y'all don't need a lot of hard structure. So y'all can sit wherever y'all want." And so I was like, "Okay." So I went to sit next to Travis. Honestly, I don't know why. Okay, so then Mary's Mary says, Nash, get over here. And Nash sits with me, Travis, and she sits next to his girlfriend. So Mary decides to hold Nash's hand, and then Travis grabs my hand. He said, "Let's do the same thing Mary and Nash are doing." I was like, "What? They're holding hands." He was like, "Oh." I was like, "Okay." So he grabs my hand, and we're doing like our Miss K said, "Okay, y'all get free time, but don't tell the juniors or the seniors." And we were like, "Okay." So then after we're doing free time, and then we're on the computer, and Miss K is like, "This is the time where y'all can hold hands because we're not doing any work." She was like, "It's free time." And I was like, "Okay." So then, um, so then Miss Brenda, when we switched classes, Miss Brenda, she was like, "Oh, there comes the cute couple," and I was like, "Miss Brenda." I was like, "Miss Brenda." She was like, "What? You're the cutest couple." I was like, "He ain't my boyfriend." I was like, "He ain't my boyfriend. He ain't my boyfriend. He ain't my boyfriend. He's ugly as a chicken tender." Miss Brenda was like, "Yeah, he ugly like a chicken tender." Miss Brenda was like, "There comes Messy." Yes. Miss Brenda was like, "There comes messy hair, and there comes the one who keeps him in track." Oh. So one time he almost tried beating up a Hunter. I remember. So I stopped Travis from beating up Hunter, and Miss Brenda was like, "Oh, look. Michaela would have told you beat him up. Michaela would have told you punch him." See, Miss Brenda was like, don't, Miss Brenda said, "Don't break her heart. Don't break her heart, because I'll make you do hard work, Travis." And I was like, "Damn, Miss Brenda." She was like, "Yeah, I don't want anybody to break your heart." I was like, "Damn, Miss Brenda, you didn't need to go this far." And then so then, when Miss Ellis quits, me and Travis are still dating, okay? Because Michaela is not back yet, okay? So you know that. You know that she wasn't back that time. So then, when so then one day, Miss Templeton said, y'all can all sit wherever y'all want." It was science class that time. And so we sat wherever we wanted. I sat next to Travis. I remember that day, Nash didn't go to gen ed classes because he had they had a sub. So the only one who went to gen ed classes that day was Cesar. But Sarah didn't go to gen ed classes. Neither did Nash. So Mary sat next to Nash. I sat next to Travis. Jayla and Hunter sat next to each other. Sarah and Joshua sat next to each other. Cause yeah, Sarah and Joshua dated. So then, oh, this was the funniest thing Miss Templeton said. She was like, "Travis, I gotta talk with you." "Look at me, Travis." She was she was like, "Does Michaela know you're dating somebody else? Because I don't want to fight in this school. I don't want to go get called by, say, oh, fight in the cafeteria with you, Miss Templeton, early in the morning, because two immature high schoolers, well, three immature, well, no, four, because Anaya said she wanted to get involved and backing me up. No, Mary said also she wanted to back me up. So it was, so I don't want to get called. It's Mary, Anaya, you, and Asher are involved in a fight with Michaela because you decided to be look, and I fall in love, not just look and I like her, but I have a girlfriend. I need to keep myself straight. No, you wanted to cheat on Michaela, so does Michaela know you have somebody else? Because I don't want no fights in my classroom. You hear this, boy? And then, and then Miss Templeton said, "I don't want to see no boys running around with no pants because their ex girlfriend is a little mentally crazy. I don't want to see anybody's choo choo train underwears." He replies with, uh, he replies with, "I don't speak no English. I speak Mandarin." And the simpleton said, "Well, she was like, well, how are you replying to me?" And then he was like, "Me." He was like, and then Miss Brenda was like, seriously, you're a grown teenager. And then he was like, yeah, yeah, I told Michaela. That was like a badass lie ever. Okay, so one day in the classroom, we were messing around, and Mary goes like, "Oh, you should put a ring on Astrid's finger." And according to Travis's mind, was like, "Put your ring on her. Put your ring that you wear all the time on her finger." I should have kept that ring. I should have kept that ring. I should have kept that ring because I could have. Oh, I could have used it this year, and I could have given it to him broken in three little pieces. Ugh. Okay. Oh, so Mary says put a ring on her finger. And so Travis decides to put his ring that he used to wear all the time on his on my finger, on my ring. He puts it on my pinky. Mary says, "That's not the ring finger, Travis." So we go and ask. So Travis goes and asks Miss K, "Miss K, which one's the ring finger?" And Miss K points at which one's the ring finger. So then he gets down on one. So in the middle of the classroom, Miss Lieberman wasn't there. She was at a meeting. I remember. So this was an English class time. So Miss V was at lunch. Miss Johnson was changing both. So the only responsible adult in that classroom was Miss K. But Miss K gave us free time. Um, so, so Travis gets down on one knee, and he goes like, "Will you? Do you want to marry me?" And Miss K is like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa! Where's the romantic? Let me play some romantic engagement music." So then Miss K goes, dun 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 dun, dun. And I'm like, Miss K, you seriously gonna allow this? She was like, "Yeah, I want to see how this ends. I want to see who ends up without an eye, or without an arm, or without a finger when Michaela comes back. So I'm gonna let this keep going on." I was like, "Okay, Miss K." So then, so then Travis goes like, "Do you want to marry me? Do you want to commit to be my future wife?" I was like, "Yeah." And so then he goes, "Hey, no," and then he screams it to the top of his lungs, "I got a future wife." And then Miss K decides to play, "Put a ring on my finger, making her to make you wanna marry me, yeah." And I was like, Miss K, yeah. Oh, and then he decides to put, and then she decides to put, "I'm a single lady, I'm a single lady." And then she points at her ring, then Miss K points at her ring finger, and she goes like, "I'm the single lady, I'm the single teacher, I'm the single teacher, I'm the single teacher, I'm the single teacher, I'm the single teacher. But one of my students is getting engaged." Well, and I was like, "Why? Oh gosh." And then she decides to call Miss Olivia on FaceTime, and she says, "One of my students is getting engaged in the future." And Miss Olivia was like, "Miss K, is this a prank?" Miss K was like, "No, look, 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 look." And she puts my finger in the camera. Oh, and then Miss Olivia was like, somebody help me. I need a soda because I'm about to pass out out of this excitement. So then we go, so then he forgets, so then in gym, I remember, uh, one that day you weren't there. You were at a doctor's appointment. So Hanaya wants me to open the door for him. And Miss K says, Travis, open the door for Hanaya. And Travis, he was holding my hand as we're walking to gym. So then he wouldn't let go of my hand. So then he opened the door for Hanaya. And Hanaya was like, "Why are you both coming in here?" And then I was like, I was like in Spanish, "Because he wants me to come with him." And I was like, "Oh my God, what are you all gonna do? What are you all gonna do? Please don't tell me you're all gonna take some layers of clothing off and do it." And in the cafeteria while you're waiting for somebody else to open the big the big gray door. And I was like, "No, Hanaya. No, Hanaya." I was like, "No." Hanaya's thinking about sex. Yeah, she was dirty as mine. So then I remember that day I was wearing like lip gloss, and Travis, well, we were like waiting. Somebody opened the door. Then Travis like pulls me closer to him and starts hugging me, and then he like kisses me, and then Hanaya's like, "Oh my God, what did I just present? What did I just see? What did my eyes just see?" She was like, "Do that somewhere else." And she was like, "What did my eyes just see? What did my?" Yeah. So there was two girls from Miss K's dance team talking to Miss K. Okay, and then those two girls and Miss K and Miss Brenda say, "What took you all so long? Why does your lip gloss look a little smushed?" And it was just clear lip gloss. So how could you tell that it was smushed? Yeah, so I was like, I was like, and I was like, I don't know. And then Travis decides to walk like next to me. And I remember me and Hanaya got mad at Darnell. I got mad at Travis because he was backing up Darnell. So, because Hanaya had asked Darnell, Hanaya wanted me to. So Hanaya said, ask Darnell if he would ever get back with me. And I was like, okay, Hanaya, we'll ask him for you. So I went up to Darnell and I said, Darnell, Hanaya wants to know if he will ever date her again. And Darnell was like, no. And then Travis said, that's that's the way, my man. That's how we do it. That's how true men do it. They don't go back with the same woman. So I said, you want to end up single like Darnell? I said, you want to end up single, lonely. You want to sing, I'm Mr. Lonely, I have nobody. I said, you want to sing that song to yourself? You want me to play that song for you? I can ask Miss K to play that song because you're going to be single. You're going to be joining Darnell. So I got mad at him that I pushed him, but not hard, okay? I pushed them and Darnell catched them and I said, you two lovebirds can go off and walk together because you two are lovebirds. So I went to Hanai and I told him, Darnell said no, he would never go back with you. And I said, then Travis told me, and then Travis told Darnell that that's the way to do it. You never go back with the same woman. And then Hanai said, oh my God, these boys are so stupid. These boys are so dumb. And then 2 minutes later, me and Hanaya were like walking around. She was like eating her. We were walking around, and so then Travis goes up to me and says, "Babe, you mad at me? Like I'm sorry and stuff." So I'm like, so Hanaya grabs my hand and says, "Come on, girl." And then when we stopped walking, uh he played basketball with Darnell, Hunter, and some other people. And then Hanaya yelled, Miss Brenda's gone. And he dropped that basketball. He dropped that basketball when he heard Miss Brenda's gone. Miss K's on her phone. Miss V's not here today. Neither is Miss Johnson. He dropped that basketball, sat next to me, and he like hugged me. And then that's when Brian, Darnell, um Cameron, Braden, Shade, Malachi, and Carabelle, they also, yeah, Nash, cause Travis hugged me, and then he like gave me a kiss, and then Brian hyped everybody up, and then they all started going, ew, ew. And then he went to go tell Miss K, and Miss K was like, "What, Brian?" He was like, "Travis just kissed Astrid," and Miss K was like, "They're dating, so what's the problem?" And then one and then the next day he kisses me in front of Ari. That day you were there. He kisses me in front of Ari, but you didn't see it. He kisses me in front of Ari. Remember that time he kissed me in front of you? Yeah, well, he kissed me in front of you. And then when he kissed me in front of Ari. And then I remember that when Michaela got back, that was like the funniest day of my life. Because he started running like a little girl. he, he, no, when you sent me the voice record, I said, "Oh Lord, is Payne not coming to school?" When I heard "Girl, Michaela's on the bus," I said, "Travis, listen to this," and he was like, "What?" And when I played it for him, when I played Michaela, no, first of all, he said, "Nah, this has to be fake," and then I was like, "No, listen, Michaela is on the bus." I slowed it down for him. And oh, he took off running. And Miss Brenda told me in Spanish, "What did you show him?" I said, "Why did you play for him?" And I was like, "This." She was like, "Oh, good heavens." She was like, "Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, Jesus Christ. In the name of Jesus, I hope Jesus you give me power to keep this job, because I want to keep this job. I don't want to get fired. I don't want to get fired. But I'm gonna have to yell at these. I'm gonna have to yell at this kid." And Miss Brenda, "You know what, Astrid? Go after this kid. Go after this kid." I was like, "You want me to take off running and go after this kid?" "Yes, I won't consider this. I won't consider this eloping. I'll consider this saving somebody from getting detention." And so I went off running for Travis. And when I got Travis, girl, he was literally in the cafeteria. So I won. I won with my teeth. I literally took out my mad voice and I said, "Travis," I yelled so loud that literally everybody in the cafeteria looked at me and I said, "Travis Woodliford, get up and get it and come with me because Miss Brenda needs you." And when I took him to the classroom, Miss Brenda told him, "Sit next to me." And I said, "Sit next to Miss Brenda, or I'm going to hit you with the sandal and the Louis Vuitton belt, and I'm not going to care." Miss Brenda was like, "Damn, bro, you really mad." I was like, "Yeah." And then when we had to go to the cafeteria, they were talking to Michaela's bus driver before they let Michaela off the bus. Then Travis went off fast to the cafeteria when we all had to go to the cafeteria. And then he sat there and I was like, "You good, babe?" And he pushed my hand away. And then that's when he went to Michaela. Oh, and then Miss Gigi said, "That's dumb." Miss Gigi said, "That's dumb. He just used you to go to he just used you." Oh. Oh, but that day that Mrs. Bookout said, "Oh, it's a nice weather. Let's go outside." So, oh, you don't want to know what me and Mary did to him. Me and Mary threw grass at Travis so hard that he was covered in grass. And then when we got back, it was about time to go to science class. So we go to Miss Templeton's class. Miss Templeton, we were on free time. Joshua asked me to do with like hair, okay? Don't ask me why. Because he's Joshua. So Joshua asked me to put his hair up in a ponytail. So I was like, okay. So I was listening to music on the computer. I was listening to "I'm a Single Lady," and I still had the ring on my finger. So I literally pointed at. I was singing, and while I was singing, I was pointing at the ring, and Miss Brenda was like, "What are you doing?" "You'll see, Miss Brenda. You'll see, Miss Brenda." And literally, Miss Brenda helped me with this plan. Miss Brenda literally uh told Travis, "If you get up from your chair, and I'm gonna call the deans on you." Oh, so he didn't get up from his chair, and I was thinking, and I was pointing at the ring, and I said, this ring, I'm throwing it at his face. Whoa, Cause if you had a boy and then he cheated on you, but then he used me, but now I'm throwing this ring at his ugly face. And then I took the ring off when it said, "Cause if you like it, you should have put a ring on it. If you like it, and then, oh, I played this song from Olivia Rodrigo. I played You talked to her when we were together. I gave you my best, and that didn't matter. It took you to wait to go off and date her. Guess you didn't cheat, but you're still a traitor. And then when it said you're still a traitor, oh no, I didn't play that one. I also played that one, but then I played Twinkle Twinkle Little Bitch. Just another narcissist. When it said you're still a bitch, I took that ring off and I said, "Here's your fucking ass bitch ring." I said, "You betrayed me." I said, "You betrayed me, and I know you never feel sorry." And I threw that ring at his face. But good thing it wasn't like a metal ring, or it would have poked his eye. And then Miss Brenda was like, "Damn, bro, what you gonna do next?" What I did next one? Mm, no. We didn't do that. Not yet, girl. Not yet. So then Miss Brenda was like, "What you gonna do now?" I was like, "You'll see, Miss Brenda." So, well, you'll see, Miss Brenda. But you want me to tell you the first thing that I'm gonna do after I threw the ring? She was like, "Yeah." I told her in Spanish because nobody else understood Spanish except Tanaya. So I told her. I told Miss Brenda. I said except Tanaya. Only except Tanaya knew Spanish too. So I said. So I told Miss Brenda in Spanish. What I'm gonna do to him is then I'm gonna haunt him. I'm gonna make his life hard and miserable. And Miss Brenda was like, "How?" When he asked me for help doing his work, I'm gonna give him the wrong answer. So he has to redo it, and 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 redo his work. I remember one day, Miss Brenda said to Miss Templeton, "Can I get the answer sheet for this worksheet, for all these worksheets that I have to do with the kids? Because I know you're going to be in a meeting, Miss Templeton, and I don't know how to do this." And Miss Templeton was like, "Yeah, sure." So Miss Templeton printed out all the answer keys for all the worksheets, and Miss Brenda was like, "Okay, I have all the answers up on I have all, like the problems up on the board, but here, you could have the answer keys so you could get the work right, and then you can prank Travis, and then you can see what number you can use to make Travis's work wrong." And Travis was like, "Wait, is that the answer key?" And I was like, "No, that's my worksheet." Then after trying to, Miss Brenda was like, "Yeah, that's your worksheet." So then, then when he goes and gives it to Miss Brenda says, Miss Brenda grabs a pen, she opens it up and starts going, wrong, wrong. Try again. Extra wrong. Yes. So then, so then he goes up to me and says, "Hey, can you help me?" And I was like, "Yeah." And Miss Brenda said, "Oh, I like this plan." She was like, "I like this plan." So then I'm like, "What's 3 plus 3?" He was like, 4? I was like, "Yeah, it's 4. It's 4." Yeah. I was like, "Yeah, it's 4." And Miss Brenda said, "Oh God." Yes. I was like, "What's 70 plus 80?" He was like, 91. I was like, 91? I was like, "No, sir, it ain't 91." So I was like, "No, you need to go back to middle school or elementary school." Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. Yep. Yep. So he got it wrong, and then I was like, "What's 13 plus 13?" He was like, "0." He don't know no math. So Miss Brenda was like, Ay, ay, ay. Miss Brenda was like, I don't know. Miss Brenda was like, let's move on to the next worksheet. And it was like, spell the word. How do you spell cat? And he was like, do you spell it R-E-F? Yes. Yes. Uh-huh. And then Miss Brenda was like, how do you spell mom? And he was like, I know, Miss Brenda. And Miss Brenda was like, yeah, tell me, Travis. OPEMOQCY. Yeah. And then Miss Brenda's like, how do you spell dad? And Travis is like, I know. And he was like, SEX. And Miss Brenda's like, Travis. Yeah. Miss Brenda's like, Travis Williford. Did you know what you just spelled? He was like, what did I just spell? Miss Brenda was like, you're seriously too dumb enough. Oh gosh. I don't know how you even have a girlfriend right now in this moment. So so I was enjoying this. Literally, Miss Brenda let me sit in her like chair the whole time so I could get like a better view of Travis saying all the words wrong. And Miss Brenda literally said, "In my back, you could open up my backpack, and there I have snacks that I keep for myself, hidden from the kids. But you can open my backpack and take those snacks because you're gonna need some snacks to watch this show, girl." So, and she literally called Miss K and said, Miss K, do you have a blanket? Especially when you got a blanket for Miss K, I remember. And Miss Brenda said, you can sit at my table, my chair, sit in my chair, open up my backpack, get some snacks out of my bag. You have a blanket, you have a pillow. Here, take off your shoes, girl. Put them up in that student chair. Because you're going to need to get comfortable for Travis spelling, misspelling them words. Okay, so then Miss Brenda says, let's go on to the next worksheet because we're done with these worksheets. Because we're done with worksheet number 1 and worksheet number 2. So then Miss Brenda says, let's go to counting. Everybody should know how to count to 100. And everybody started counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. And Travis said, to 100. And Miss Brenda said, we only had 2. And Miss Brenda was like, ay, ay, ay. Ay, ay, ay. And then Miss Brenda said, all right, we're done with this worksheet. Let's move on to the next one. So then she was like, oh, it's reading. This is super easy reading. It's kindergarten level reading. And it was like, so then she was like, all right, Travis, you can read. You can read the first one. It was the cat. The cat was hiding from his owner because his owner was trying to give him a bath, but the cat doesn't like the water. The cat knows how to lick his body to keep himself clean. And Travis was like, the mama was trying to stick it up. The dad and the mama were trying to stick it up themselves because it was too hard to push it in to make the quail liquid come in them to come in the mom because the mom wanted to feel what it felt and then because the mom was horny and then the mom went to that shower and took the cat in with her and made the cat scratch her cat really bad until like it bled. And Miss Brenda was like, that's not what it says. No. So when we go to lunch, she's waiting for Michaela. And he's like, hey, Michaela, I did all my work. I did it all correctly. He lied to Michaela, saying that he did his work correctly when he didn't. Well, I was pissed. I was literally pissed. And I remember Hanaya had asked Darnell to sit next to me. Oh, you should have seen Travis's face when he saw Darnell sitting next to me. Hanaya literally, Hanaya literally had Darnell grab my hand. Hanaya literally put mine and Darnell's hand together, and Darnell was like, "What are you doing, Hanaya?" We're trying to see what Travis could do because he used her and he's dating and he's back with Michaela. We just want to see if you still get mad at if you like hold her hand or like get near her. And then it was like, oh, okay. I see what you're all doing. You're trying to see loyal. You're trying to see what he would do. All right. I get it. So then Travis goes and throws his trash. See, they're not holding my hand, and he's like, "Bro, that's my ex." Oh, so then when Miss K said no dating allowed, Travis starts to get mad because Hunter decides to like ask me. We would do it for like a prank for him to get with Jayla, because he wanted to get back with Jayla, but he didn't. But Jayla didn't want him back, so he was using like he was trying to get revenge on Jayla because he cheated on her with Michaela. So Travis got mad 'cause said, "Bro, like that's weird. You know about the bro code? You know she's my ex, right? So you should know about the bro code. You should know that you never should date your brother's ex." And then so then Travis got mad. So me and him like had to break up. And then Hunter, when Jayla went home, Travis got suspended. Michaela went to ISS. Hunter was like, I don't care a fuck about Jayla. Like I don't like Jayla. And then Travis was like, and I remember that day, the next day, when it was almost like the last day of school, Travis got pissed and mad and like told me that I was like a fucking hoe for dating his brother, and I should go and find somebody else, and I shouldn't be dating his brother because he's like stupid and mean on myself to date his brother when I know that they're blood related and that he will become my brother-in-law and that I'll become his sister-in-law. And I was like, I don't care. But then when I broke up with Hunter, because of the pictures he sent you. Oh, those pictures. Oh, those pictures. Oh, those ugly pictures. Oh, I saw the video you made about those pictures that Hunter sent you. That was funny. So, yeah, disgusting. Yeah. Did you send them to somebody? Did you send them to Kylie or something so Kylie could see the disgusting mess? And what did he say? Wait, did you show him the pictures that that boy sent, that Hunter sent you today? Yeah, when you called them, those pictures that he sent you a long time ago, because Hunter said he still follows you on Instagram. I bet. So then Travis called me and said, "Oh, I feel happy that you broke up with Hunter because now I'm not your brother-in-law." I was like, "What the fudge?" So then, apparently Jayla wanted me to date Hunter because she wasn't mad when. Oh, you want to hear this? Oh, this was like almost like the last day of school. Oh, you weren't there because you were done with school. So that day that Hunter asked me out and we became boyfriend and girlfriend. Miss Templeton was like, because when they said, part of the interruption, Miss Templeton, Jayla's up here in the front office to be picked up, to take into to somebody to pick her up, take her to class. Blah 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 blah. Jayla Ravel. They said her last name and her first name and everything. And then Miss Templeton was like, Miss V was like, I'll go. And so as Miss V was going to get Jayla, Miss Templeton was like, Hunter, does Jayla know you're with somebody else? And Hunter was like, yeah. So Sarah told Hunter told Sarah to tell Jayla that they were no longer together and stuff, that they were breaking up. So that was, I know, Hunter couldn't tell Jayla himself. I know, but it's Hunter. So then, that was Travis. That was, no, I said Travis. Because Travis had turned 18. Hunter just turned 18 this year. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That was, oh, yeah. No, that was Travis. No, Travis, he did it before. Travis was also 17. I think, wait, I think Travis is 18 now. I don't even want to know how old they are. So, I don't know what to do. Hunter keeps calling me.